Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into round 8 of the 2024 MotoOption Supercross Championship live here on Start Your Systems TV. I'm Kellen Brower, and I'm lone wolfing it here tonight for the Daytona Supercross and MX Simulator. Unfortunately, my regular co-host Andrew Wood is under the weather and is not going to be here in studio with us here tonight. So just going to be me, just calling the action and bringing you guys a lot of fun here for the 8th round of the series. So strap in and enjoy the show because we have got an action-packed night of racing at the World Center of Racing. It is the Daytona MX Simulator Supercross. It's one that pretty much everybody in sim kind of marks off on the calendar every single year because it's such a unique race. We have such a long racetrack, by far the longest lap times of the season. And yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun to kind of see what sort of wacky results we're going to get here tonight at Daytona. So before we jump into our racing, we of course have to talk about what happened in qualifying, what's going on this racetrack, because as I said, long lap times. So sometimes we end up getting odd results, or maybe we don't get any odd results at all, because looks like our fastest qualifying time is the champ himself, Braden Carter, 1:26.382. Just getting a quick refresh, and it's still him regardless of which, at a 1:25.226 just at the end of this session here. So Carter up on top at a 1:25.226. You got Payson Johnson at a 1:26.109. Good to see Payson back in qualifying tonight. We'll hope to see him actually race tonight, because this is the first time since San Francisco, I think, that we've seen Payson put in a qualifying lap, but we'll see whether or not it turns into a full-fledged race night for the 51 machine. Alexis Leclerc's third fastest at 1:26.203. Braden Tharp, Colby Eaglin, and Trevor Burns fill out our top 6. I was trying to get our top 5 right there, but yeah, the series is definitely diminishing in the 450 class week after week. Let's see, do we still have 40 guys? We do. Still got 40 guys. Ethan Parks just sneaks in at a 1:31.7. But remember, earlier in the season, we were seeing maybe less than 2 seconds separating our top 40. Now we're at about 6 seconds, even though this is, of course, a longer racetrack. Rasmus Balzer, the defending 250 East champ, goes fastest here tonight, heading into Daytona, 1:28.515 for the 1E machine. Johnny Padani, though, our championship leader, second fastest, just ahead of Cade Matherly, who missed the main event last week. Daniel Mills, Rogan McIntosh also in the mix as well. And go down here to see Johannes Breindahl just making it in at a 1:35.726. Still a good amount of people trying for that 250 East class to make it in. Let's remind you guys where our standings are at rolling into Daytona here tonight. Braden Carter sitting at a 36-point advantage over last week's winner in Arlington, Alexis Leclerc. A bit of a shock win for the 7 after Braden Carter tossed it away late, and then there was some chaos going on between Eagland and Leclerc trying to battle it out for the win. Leclerc eventually picks it up, and Carter slipped all the way back to 9th in a very strange ending. I think he had 3 fall-off crashes on the last lap of the race and instant disconnected as soon as he crossed the finish line jump. He was heated after the main event, but still sits 36 points up over new second-place man Alexis Leclerc. We saw no Seabolt last week in Arlington. He dropped from 2nd all the way to 4th in the standings, and I don't think we will see Seabolt here again tonight. So I think we're done seeing the 10 machine, at least for a little bit. Hopefully he will return to racing at some point this season. But now the battle for 2nd really is on between Leclerc and Eaglin as we get closer to the second half of the season and see what ends up going on. But all right, so Seabolt is here tonight, and you're right. I apologize. I was talking about Eagland winning last week, not Leclerc. I have my brain still in a jumble. Sorry, been traveling all weekend, just barely got back yesterday, and I'm still exhausted. My head hurts right now, but we're trying to figure it out. We'll get there when it's time. Eaglin and Leclerc battling it out for 2nd in this championship. 10 points between them. Really, it seems like Carter is pretty much taken off and run with this thing, as we've talked about all year long, really since about round 2 or 3, that Carter's in control. So can any of these guys get up and sneak a win away from him? That is the question. We saw some other faces get in the mix, like Kevin Frizaka last week, also having a good run. He's now 12th in the standings. So kind of fun to see the dynamic as it continues to change in 450 Supercross. East standings, after those first 2 rounds with Padani picking up the dub last week, now goes to the points lead by 3 over Rasmus Balzer, 5 over Seth Carr. Padani sent me his red plate pack earlier today and said, "Here is this pack for the one time I will run the red plate this year." So not a lot of confidence behind the 26 machine, but he does have the red plate rolling into Daytona, and we'll see if he can keep it red leaving Daytona here tonight. Balzer wants to knock him back if he can. But a good mix of riders here as well so far that we've seen through the first couple of rounds. Matt Cromie almost picked up the win last week in Arlington. We'll see if he can rebound and get out front again here at Daytona. But again, Seth Carr, Max Tralick, Maxime Vanderbeek, all kind of trying to mix it up and make an interesting championship here. And also of note in this 250 East division, really excited to see 5 different nations represented in this chart here. As we see Padani, I think that is the Hungarian flag. I forget the whole story with Padani. He like kind of lives in the UK or something like that. It's very weird. Of course, Balzer, the fastest Danish rider in MX Simulator, at least for this point in time. And Seth Carr holding it down for the old red, white, and blue in P3. But yeah, so that is our standings rolling into tonight. Here is a look at this glorious racetrack that we are going to go racing on. Holy smokes, this track is long. Like I said, 126 or 125, I should say, our top time here tonight. And we expect this track to break down considerably, but the Race Factory track crew did not skimp out on making this track technical and challenging just from the start. We've got ruts laid into a lot of the jump faces. We've got a massive center rut down the whoop section in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. We got split lanes. We got massive triples. Why are we still on Arlington? Not sure what's going on. We are still in Arlington in the game, and it looks like we got people arguing in the chat room. So I guess we're going to talk about Arlington, or these guys are going to figure it out. But anyway, let's get back to talking about this racetrack here for just a minute. A couple key things to note, at least from what I was doing when I was playing this track earlier and trying to get a feel for it. This whoop section, like I said, long middle rut in it. So you might see some guys go for that middle rut. You might also see them hug left or right on the tough blocks, trying to stay on top of the whoops and really get a good clean drive across them. But also this rhythm lane going up, basically the 2 clay lanes on the track are really what are kind of my keys to the race here tonight. Because this rhythm lane, you can't triple off of that single right there. It's a really low single if you can see where my mouse pointer is here. So a lot of guys will double in here, and the line I was able to uncork was double, triple, and then quad triple through here. What other lines are these guys taking? I don't know. I have not been able to watch qualifying myself, but I think that is going to be more or less the main line we'll see from the 450 guys. Keen to see if the 250 guys are able to uncork the quad in the middle of that. I'd imagine if you can get that 3 over this first turn area, the quad is totally doable at that point. But what else can be done? I don't know, man. These guys are always figuring stuff out on this racetrack that I never would have even thought of. So excited to see what they can do with those. Split lanes before the finish line jump is going to be fun. I think transfer battles will be really interesting to see as these guys, obviously split and they'll come back together going into the finish line jump. Could turn into a battle for the win that we see going through those split lanes. You never quite know what you're going to get out here tonight. And then the start, Daytona usually has a start that goes left 90 down the first rhythm lane along the speedway right here. But this year, for whatever reason, they decided to make it a 180 U-turn, and it goes right under a tunnel here out of the first corner. So a lot of guys will be trying to fight for position to get under that tunnel jump first. Hopefully we don't have any guys making some contact and hitting the tunnel, but you never know what to expect going through those chaotic first turns of the races here. So let me jump back in the server now. Let's see if we are at Daytona now, so I can show you guys this track for reals and get a better perspective. But you can see not a very long start straight, only get to third gear on a 450, and that's if you even need to. Some guys might stay second all the way. And we go under this tunnel jump out of the third corner, I think that'd be, or the second corner, I guess. And then this is the first rhythm lane right here. Might see some guys hop up over this big single jump right here. Not going to be able to show you guys much because we're already restarting the race. So we got 442 onto big single is what a couple of guys are saying, or at least what Joey D827 in the chat is saying. I think that's definitely doable. Definitely something that those guys are able to uncork based on the speed you carry into that. The one thing that could be a struggle for guys tonight, though, is Cade Matherly's now on the gate, is, as I said, this single jump right here is not very massive into this rhythm section, and it's actually kind of hard to get over this next single right here. I'll try to hit this rhythm section as clean as I possibly can right now and let you guys kind of see it from my perspective. But I foresee it being a challenge for guys to get it consistently tonight. Maybe if a rut develops, we'll see it be a little bit more consistent. But regardless of which, right now, it is something that to me looks like a bit of a problem area to get consistently. I'll show you what I'm talking about. As we go over this, you kind of need to settle down and get into one of these pockets so you can go over that and then bust this triple. And see, you even can't keep it straight right there because the ruts in these jump faces really kind of throw you for a bit of a loop. And now that Matherly's on the track, we'll watch the 25 machine kind of show us. Look, he's cutting in and out of the tough blocks. He's trying to cheat out here tonight. Watch out for the 25. He's getting after it. But we'll see what he's able to do as he's going to show us around the racetrack right here. By the way, Cade Matherly update. Asked Jet Lawrence after the race in Arlington this week what we got to do to turn Matherly's season around after he missed the main event in Arlington. And Jet said, how in the heck did Cade Matherly miss the main event? What do we got to do? He said he actually hasn't talked to Cade in a little while, but maybe he's got to get back on him and say, hey man, let's get stuff figured out here because this is ridiculous. You can't be out here missing main events when you're supposed to be a championship contender. So, yeah, I don't know if there's a pep talk this week or not, but we're hoping to see Cade have a good race here in Daytona. You can see sticking on the left side of the whoops right there, getting a little bit wayward, but trying to show us the fast lines around this racetrack and now stopping. So I'll show you guys this rhythm lane again real quick and see if I can't uncork the big boy lines that some of these guys have been talking about in the chat room. Wheeling over the roller going in and then threeing into the second part. Interesting. I don't know if I'm talented enough to wheelie over the roller, but again, like I said, you just want to try to pop into that pocket right there and then triple, quad right there, and then triple out. Didn't get the second quad. Man, people are really going 2-4? 2-4 and then 4 and then, yeah, jumping up on top of that plateau. I don't even know how you wouldn't crash busting the first quad because you're going so dang fast. So let's see what Matherly on a 250 does. Nope, he just went over the berm. So now we're just out here having a bit of a goofball time. Let's see if I can bust it out this time here. I guess I could see how you'd go 4. And then right there. Can you jump all the way up here? Not quite. Wheelie over triple 5 triple on a 250. What are you guys even talking about? Wheeling over the roller, going 3 into the second part and then the section, and then 4-4 out. 3-5-3. I don't even know. Okay, so let me see if I can do this 3-5-3 thing that you guys are talking about. Oh, never mind. We're going into 250 heat number 1. So now we can actually see these lines busted out in race form. Go ahead and get our moto names up for you guys. 250 heat number 1 coming up first here tonight. And a big shout out again to Jacob Hubbard, whose server we are not only in tonight to do the Daytona Supercross and MX Simulator, the Battleground server, but also he has got this beautiful display for live timing setup that makes my life oh so much easier. And I greatly thank him for that. So there we go. Now I can see exactly what I'm looking at. How's everybody doing tonight? 200 of you tuning in, watching live here tonight, the Daytona MX Simulator Supercross. This is the 15th Daytona MX Simulator Supercross, I believe. Gosh, this game has been around a minute. And in some ways, I still feel like, oh, it hasn't been that long since I raced competitively in this game, but it's literally been 12 years since I debuted. So, good grief. It's been a while. All right, let's give you guys a rundown for 250 heat number 1 loading into the gate. Garrett Hollenbeck, Logan Mortberg, Jack Mark, Maxime Vanderbeek, Ethan Gerst, Matt Cromie, Killian Ortiz, Trent Adams. Who else we got here? Blake Cox. We got D Mills, Nick Thomas-Sunis, Carl Novak, Alex Zellner, Christopher McPherson, Dalton Cotto, Kyle Boardman, Johnny Padani, Seth Carr in this one as well. I think I got just about everyone's name in there as they're all updating through our timing loops now. And in a moment, we'll be in and ready to drop the gate here on 250 heat number 1. All right, there we go. So we get to see the red plates on Johnny Padani here in just a second. There it is, the 26 TSCZ Productions ATM donning those red plates for the first time this week. Ooh, it's a clean setup, I'll tell you what, folks. This is Maxime Vanderbeek popping a wheelie, Kyle Boardman, Zellner, McPherson, Ortiz, Carter, Blake Cox, Trent Adams, Garrett Hollenbeck, Harrison Gafford. We also have Jack Mark, Logan Mortberg, and Daniel Mills there for RCW. Getting ready to go to the gate to kick off the Daytona Supercross in MX Simulator. And we're about to see just how gnarly this track is in race form as we fire off 20 riders into turn number 1, going for 9 spots into the main event. You guys know the drill. You've been here long enough. You know how we get it done. To go racing in MX Simulator, got to make it out of those heat races to make it into the main event. And we're going to pick out nine guys to go to the main event. Hope you folks are ready, because I am. I was born ready to watch Daytona here tonight. Always a great way to kick off bike week as well. Watching a little bit of virtual simulation action. All right. Take a good look at these guys. They're lined up and ready to go. It is the Daytona Supercross and MX Simulator 250 heat number 1. Here we go. Oh, tight quarters into the first turn, but it's the 15 of Seth Carr who sneaks through and grabs the whole shot on his District Designs Honda. He's got Johnny Padani on the 26 right in tow behind him. I think that's the 39 of Matt Cromie settling into the mix as well, as Carr launches up onto the single and pulls away a nice little early gap. So it's Carr from Padani and Cromie going side by side. Little dualies early action here in 250 heat 1. Cromie going with the 3-2 option, but goes to the outside. Padani up the inside trying to sneak that pass back and gets it done up the inside of Cromie. I think that was Hollenbeck trying to mix it up. Now we're 3 wide over the tunnel jump with Padani sandwiched in between, and they go around the outside to the inside. So how does this work out? Is Cromie going to pull back even with Hollenbeck onto the start straight? Oh, it was really tight, and I think... Oh, dualies big time over the finish line jump as Padani's still right in the mix. Look at how close these guys are. Trilies, almost quadsies as we got, who else is back there? There's Cromie, D-Mills flirting in the mix, almost 4 wide across the straightaway here as Hollenbeck moves into second. Cromie block passes Padani to get back into third. Mills looking for an opportunity as we head into the whoops. All of them tailing Seth Carr here on the second lap of the race now as we've already crossed the finish line jump. But Padani and Cromie going at it, and Padani squares it off and gets a beautiful walk pass done to move back into third place and set sail after Garrett Hollenbeck. Back to our leader, Seth Carr, in and out of the inside line right there. That tricky double out of that inside line. How about Garrett Hollenbeck, though, on the 742 Takatoji effort here, trying to close up on Carr for the race lead. And now we get our first look on what these guys are doing. So staying low, doubling in. Anybody going an opposite line? Nope. The low double to triple, and triple option appears to be the way to go. Cromie, I think, tried something a little bit different in the background. Came up a bit short on a quad, though. And now the battle for second is heating up again. Padani thinking inside and staying low as Carr goes down from the race lead, and that is a change for the race lead. Johnny Padani takes it over, goes third to first in one foul swoop, and our championship leader is now the race leader in the opening heat race of the night. Hollenbeck trying the option line, going to pull even for a moment. Padani swings wide, and it's going to pull him back level with Hollenbeck for a moment, but Padani checks in on to lap number 3 with the race lead. Cromie and D-Mills still right in tow. Then Jack Mark inside the top 5 ahead of Seth Carr, now back to 6th. Dalton Caudill runs 7th with Gafford in 8th. And now Vanderbeek is in 9th. He is just ahead of Boardman and Carter, who throw dualies over the finish line jump as they battle it out for 10th spot. Joey Carter going deep off that triple right there. And the fun thing about this racetrack is these straightaways are so long, it takes A really long time to get from one end of the circuit to the other. And because of that, it also sets up opportunities for passing aplenty. As now Carter pulls up and he's going to quad or triple up onto the table to get around Vanderbeek. We also had a rider down. That's Gafford. So both these guys still in transfer spot because of that crash. But Vanderbeek goes from 9th to 9th as he stays in position now right behind. And this is a good onboard perspective to see what these guys are seeing on this racetrack. Another rider down. That is Daniel Mills. Oh, D Mills, who is running 4th. Now slides back to the 11th spot. So again, these guys staying low. Double, triple, triple, and triple again out of that rhythm section for Kyle Boardman. Killian Ortiz keeping it close with Mills. Now jumping to the inside of him for 10th. Contact, and they both go down. They bring several riders with them. In the mix as well right there was Gafford, who went into the back of them. Ethan Gurst got hung up for a minute. We also have Blake Cox, who looks like he's a privateer out here, getting taken down in that chaos. So Boardman, who was already in 9th, is now staying in 9th behind Joey Carter. Vanderbeek up to 7th, Dalton Caudill 6th. Seth Carr in the top 5 with Jack Mark, Matt Cromie, Johnny Padani, and now Garrett Hollenbeck back in the race lead for the 742. He has made his way around the 26 of Padani. And Hollenbeck is fired up here tonight. Fastest lap of the race. Last time by at a 1:32.351 for the Takatoji Husqvarna effort. Trying some alternate lines. Still busting the triple out right there. So it seems like the preferred line is definitely not to go for the big boy line in here. Maybe you can uncork something to try to make a pass, but Hollenbeck is not taking that chance. Going low, double, triple, triple, triple through that main rhythm section. And boy, oh boy, he's looking really fired up here tonight. Worked his way through some really big talent. Johnny Padani, Seth Carr obviously went down, but Hollenbeck straight up caught and passed Cromie and Padani, two guys who last week battled for the win in Arlington. And now Hollenbeck is just straight pulling away from them. So I don't know what the 742 machine ate for breakfast today, but it's certainly working out for him. As right after he laid in a 132.3, he lays in a 132.6. He's still fastest rider on the track at the moment. Well, actually, Seth Carr just went a tiny bit faster than him in the 3 spot. But Hollenbeck pulling away 2.7 seconds ahead of Padani. You see Padani there in the background entering the whoops. And then battle for 3rd, Jack Mark and Seth Carr going at it in the whoops. Jack Mark is swapping, and a nice save for the 1-2-1 machine there. So now Carr, after that early mistake, he was leading, went down, slipped back to 6th, has now crawled his way back into 3rd, and is 6.5 seconds off the race lead. He has been closing up ever so slightly on Padani ahead of him. Keen to see if he's doing any kind of different lines through here. Looks like he's still going for the low option as well. Scrubbing out and back in to the fray here for Seth Carr. Donnie starting to inch the gap slowly back down to Hollenbeck, who's still working on about a 2.2 second race lead. Trying to see how close our transfer spot battle is right now. It is not close at all. Ethan Gurst has 7 seconds on P10, Blake Cox. So lonely 9th place for Ethan Gurst, but he is in cruise control. White flag waves. We've already had 6 minutes come and go. And this is going to be a 6-lap heat race, kind of like the old days for the 250 class. Of course, now they would go 6 minutes in real life and in this game, which always results in usually about 8-9 laps, depending on how short the track is. But this is a long one, which means that 6-lap heat race is back in action. And Hollenbeck's trying to hold on for one more lap. Little short case on that step on, step on. Hollenbeck bouncing through those sand rollers here on the final lap. Still swings wide to go for the triple in, and I'll tell you what, Johnny Padani is trying to make a race out of this with half a lap to go in this heat race. Hollenbeck into the wall jump. Can now hear Padani right behind him, and you see Padani on the 26 now on screen. Hollenbeck a little deep on that triple. Turns out to be okay, but Padani, look at that, nailing it, scrubbing through there. No problemo. 0.6 of a second in it, in a battle for the win. Padani wants that prime gate pick for the main event, and he wants to take it from Hollenbeck, but he makes a mistake and goes down, and it costs him a spot as Seth Carr goes by, and now it's Hollenbeck's heat race to lose. He's got 2 more corners to go. They are both flat corners, so he should be A-okay. And how about this to kick out the night? Triple-digit wonder Garrett Hollenbeck is going to take 250 heat number 1 here at Daytona. Seth Carr crosses in second. Padani third. Jack Mark fourth. Dalton Caudill looks like he has got 5th held down over Maxime Vanderbeek in the 6th position. 7th for Joey Carter. 8th now is Matt Cromie. And then Gers still pretty much all by himself in 9th. It's a pretty big gap now back to D Mills. Yeah, Mills 8.2 back, so Gers has got this thing handled. Just got to make it through these last 2 corners, and he'll be on his way to the main event. There we go. Ethan Gers, he's going through. Seems to be pretty happy about it as well. So Mills, Cox, Adams, McPherson, Boardman, Ortiz, Novak, Mortberg, Gafford, Thomasounis, and Zellner will be heading to the last chance qualifier. And we'll see if they can make it happen when we get to that LCQ here in about an hour's time, as Mortberg going to cross the line now 16th. Carl Novak went down. Saw Il Coolio or LL Coolio saying, are we doing the newer schedule with 450 heats first? No, this is 250 heat 1, 450 heats coming up here in about 15 minutes time. So stick with us. You won't want to miss the top dogs trying to make their way around Daytona here. But also, I heard that the quote-unquote new schedule, which is 450 heats first and 450 LCQs first, is actually going back to the normal way this weekend. I am pretty sure you will see 250 heats start the night at Daytona. Don't quote me on that. Oh, thank you, A-Wood, for telling me to hydrate, because I'm going to need it tonight. It's actually not the worst thing ever that you didn't come over, because I am feeling a little under the weather too. Still got the sniffles, and I think my brain's still on East Coast time. Very, very tired. But we'll make it. Don't worry, folks. We got it. I am not going to Daytona this year, unfortunately. Thought about just staying in Florida all week, but obviously I would have missed this stream. And also, I miss my family. Wouldn't have seen my daughter for like 9-10 days if I went to Daytona and stayed in Florida. So, yeah, sorry, no Daytona for me. Honestly, like, Daytona for the media is one of the worst rounds to go to, because it's, yeah, not a very good... I don't know why, but the media press box that you could see the whole track from in the main tower at Daytona is closed for this event. So the media only has the infield center to go to work, and you can't see any of the track from there. So is what it is. I'll go to Daytona probably next year, though. At least that's the hope. Oakland media box versus Daytona. I mean, Oakland's just a crap hole, so is what it is. All right, let's talk about who's in 250 heat number 2, because we're about loaded in. Austin Partolo, Jared Gummison, Kerry Owings, Cole Betts, Rogan McIntosh, Max Chwalik in this one. As we also got Seth Crotty, Cole Gress, Max Wilczek, Alex Heckman, Tom Quinault, Austin Baird, Jake Kazarian, J.R. Reyes, Jeremy Schiabro, Will Canal, Talon Zollers, Rasmus Balzer, Brett Powers, and Cade Matherly. This is actually kind of heavy heat race coming up. There's Matherly. There's the 1E of Balzer. First time we have not seen the red plates on this machine all year, because obviously he entered the championship as the defending champion, so he gets the ability to run the red plate. Then he won the opener. He ran the red plate at Arlington the following, or 3 weeks after that, I should say. But now we see nothing but black and white on Rasmus Balzer's TSCZ Productions KTM. See if he can turn it around and get the win here tonight. Oh my gosh, for once in my life, I can see Brett Power's skins. Can't see his gear, but I see the 40 Machines bike. Don't run MX, never ever have his skins. But I got his bike tonight. Oh, I'm so excited. Alrighty, folks, same story in heat number 2. Top 9 go to the main event in a 6-minute plus 1 lap duel. Balls are all the way down the inside with Matherly just to his right. 250 heat 2 time at Daytona. Let's drop that gate. Ooh, tight quarters. 52 is Partolo. He gets there first. He's in and out of the tough blocks, but he will maintain the lead coming out. So it's Partolo and Matherly getting together. Matherly got bumped from behind. They both went down. It was the 34 Max Chwalik who kind of hit them both. He's going to take over the race lead because Austin Bear kind of stuffed the rhythm section there at the end. Settles back into second. Tom Quinault comes out in third place early on. So Chwalik with a little bump and run. He knows his way around Daytona apparently, because that is a familiar phrase here at Daytona, bump and run. And moves a couple of guys out of his way to take over the early lead. So it's Chwalik from Bear, Quinault, Gummison, Zollers, Canal. Matherly picks it up in 7th. McIntosh and Reyes in the transfer spots. Balzer now already up into 8th. Just made a quick pass into 8th as he's battling it out midfield. And it's Chwalik leading the race early on. Austin Bear giving him a good run here on the 94. Not wanting to let the 34 machine get away. You can see how tight quarters it is back behind that. Guy's throwing dualies off the Supercross triple like it's nobody's business. Oh, Bear down in the whoops. And I see Balzer down in the background. 77 to Gummison getting sideways. And this is going to be chaos. Look at Matherly jumping onto the tables. He's already up to 4th. As we had someone almost tee up in the background. Zollers almost came together with Will Canal. But Cade Matherly is saying, I don't care about this. I'm going to the main event this week. It went down early, getting punted out of the way again. These guys really roughing up the 25 machine as Bear and Gummison are going at it for second place into the wall jump, and they get together, and Bear is down, and he's in a bad spot right there. Couple guys just barely missing him. Actually, was that for the lead because the 34 is back there. So yes, Gummison went to the lead. For whatever reason, Max Chwalik had tossed away the race lead somewhere. So Gummison leads, and now Zollers goes down in second, moving Matherly up into the 2 spot. Much more chaotic start to this heat race. And the first one as Quinault gives a little shove to the 61 of Jeremy Schiabro, pushes him outside. Now Balzer triples up into the fray. He's moved himself into 3rd, so Balzer and Matherly both down early on. Now they're fighting it out for second place as Matherly, he wants to go to the lead on Gummison as they come across to finish lap number 2. Balzer absolutely tossing in the background. But, Gummison trying to hold on, putting Blakely powder coating up on top. Right side versus left side. Matherly really hopping through there, but now Balzer has closed up on him. Look at Balzer in the whoops. Oh! And he's down. No, he saved it. And Matherly, did he backflip or something in the background? How did they both stay up right there? Because they looked like they were both on their way to the ground. And now Matherly gets hit by Chwalik, and they're both on the ground. Balzer goes by. There goes Partolo. The 42 of Zollers sneaks through. That's Canal right there as well, getting in the mix. And Matherly picks it up in 8th. So Gummison survives, and now he goes down in the race lead. Jeremy Schiabro goes to the front. There goes Balzer. There goes Partolo. And Gummison picks it up. Look at this 3-rider battle. What is happening in this heat race? So Chwalik and Canal ahead of Zollers. Matherly, we got an alternating line. Someone's trying to quad up on us right here. Quinault splitting the difference as we had a rider go down in the middle there. It was Canal on the 824 who hit the deck. And Quinault jumped through the middle to get into, what is this, third place? No, he's not. 8th, I should say. There's so many guys mixed up right here. I don't even know what we're watching anymore, but he's got Matherly right in front of him. Matherly trying to pass Zollers. Zollers triples over him. Now Quinault pulls up alongside Matherly. Got the 94 of Bear still just lurking right back there. Meanwhile, battle for the lead is on. Balzer nearly side by side with Schiabro, who crosses the track, gives a little bike hump in front of him, making sure he knows he wasn't trying to cross jump him on purpose right there. And now down the inside, Balzer trying to take the lead from Schiabro, and he's got it. Balzer really trying to work that left side of the whoops, and this time it almost bit him again. He gets into Schiabro, and Schiabro jumps off the track. Balzer picks it up still somehow on the machine as Pardalau goes by, and Balzer now in third place with Gummison and Matherly closing in from 4th and 5th. Matherly down the inside, shows him a wheel, but Gummison around the outside holds it on. Here in Balzer's doing a big old line in this rhythm section, so let's see what he's got as he's right up there behind Pardalau. So Balzer wheelies in triple, and then 4, wow, to move into second place. Yeah, that's certainly a big line. That wheelie in is crazy. By the way, fastest lap of the race was just ran in P19. Max Wilczek laid in a 1:33.437 as he is currently 19 seconds out of a transfer spot. So there you go, Max Wilczek laying it down. Out front, though, Jeremy Schiabro trying to click off the laps. 1:34.0 that time by Balzer. Checks in at a 1:36.1. And you got Pardalau at a 1:35.0, 1:36.2 for Gummison, 1:33.45 for Matherly. They're pulling up side by side in a battle for the 4 spot. Right versus left again through the moguls, and this time right works out once again. Matherly makes a pass on Gummison to get into 4th place. And Balzer was off the track at the end of that section. Now he's hopping through the whoops. He's sideways, and that time he finally goes down. He has found so many ways to not crash in the whoops, but this time it finally bites him, and it bites him in a bad way because he's going to slip all the way back to 12th and out of a transfer spot. And by the way, time has already expired in this heat race, so white flag is coming out next time by. Balzer has got to make some forward progress here in a hurry. He's got about 7 seconds to make up to get into a transfer spot. Let's see if that big boy line he's busting out will work in his advantage, as we had Will Quinault going 12 o'clock just ahead of him. And let's see what Balzer does. He is not going to wheelie in. He's going to go over, triple, and he's got to check up and then triple. I'm guessing triple, jump up on top. Going to try to make that work, and Quinault fighting back still holds the position. So Balzer wanted a much better run right there. Oh, doolies! As he pulls up alongside Quinault down the inside. No, not going to make it work. So this is making life really hard for Balzer as he barrel rolls and 360s out of it and stays on 2 wheels. Somehow Quinault stayed up too. Balzer whips it across him and puts Quinault on the ground. Now it's panic time for Balzer, who is still 12th. And the 1E machine is going absolute AWOL nation right now. Meanwhile, Schiabro and Pardalau, the district teammates, are 1 and 2. Max Wilczek just reset fastest lap of the race again in 16th as Balzer down the inside of Austin Bear, or no, excuse me, that's Cole Gress, moves into 11th spot. He has still got a ways to go. He is, let's see, he's going to get J.R. Reyes right here, who's down. Oh, and he's down. Yeah, now he's down. He almost barrel rolled out of that again. Balzer definitely LCQ bound unless something really goes crazy here at the final lap of this one. Wow, wouldn't that be something? The 1E headed to the LCQ. What if he doesn't make the main event tonight? As Schiabro checks up, trying to just bring this thing home ahead of his teammate. Definitely a much more chaotic heat race than heat number 1. And somehow, after all of it, Jeremy Schiavaro is going to be the one most consistent, as Jeremy Schiavaro picks up the win in 250 heat number 2 at Daytona. His teammate Partillo follows him home. Matherly, with the most up and down heat race, gets all the way back to 3rd in this one. Gummison 4th ahead of Quinault. Chwalik in 6th. Zoller 7th with Crotty in 8th. And Bear in 9th. JR Reyes is trying to get there. Bear! Oh, they both go down! Who's this going to benefit? It's their teammate Cole Gress who goes to the main event when they both went down. Brett Powers just misses out in 10th. Balzer got all the way back to 2 seconds off a transfer as he crosses the line 11th. But Reyes went down and Austin Bear also went down. They're not teammates, excuse me, looked like it, but Finca and Yogi. Holy smokes, that was chaos. Cole Betts, Alex Heckman, Max Wilczek, Will Canal, Rogan McIntosh, and Kerry Owings along with Jake Kazarian miss out here headed to the LCQ. Barring any penalties, we'll wait and see. Max Chwalik, by the way, reset fastest lap of the race at a 1:32.7 on the final lap of the race, taking it away from Max Wilczek. All right, penalties are in, and it stays the same. Gress, along with Crotty, Zollers, Chwalik, Quinault, Gummison, Matherly. Oh, speaking of a change, Austin Partillo picks up the heat race dub as Jeremy Schiavaro has 1.9 seconds of cuts, and it's Partillo ahead of Schiavaro in the end, taking the dub here in 250 heat number 2. Well, that was certainly chaotic. Sets us up beautifully for 450 heat number 1 now. Tell you what. Run you guys through who's in this one real quick. Kevin Frazaka, Colby Eaglin, Evan Vanderkoy, Luke Sullivan, Blake O'Brien, Seth Shirley, Devin Davis, Frank Jackson, Nico Marchini, Emmanuel Cepeda. Payson Johnson is in this heat. Tanner Rogers, Brandon Larson, John Heilman, Race Cobble, Alex Horn, Tyler Lang, Aaron Rockefeller, Caden Speck, and Adam Holm. Interesting, what I can see from our live timing sheet is only one rider is not on the Husqvarna 17 or 18 dyno, and it is Adam Holm, who is on the CRF 2018 dyno. So that is what Adam has elected to do. Just going to open up a little snacky snack here. How's everybody doing tonight? Heat race action kicking off here at Daytona. That's a good point. Payson Johnson and Seth Shirley in the same heat. It'll be interesting to watch. Reminds me that I wanted to check how far back Shirley is from 15th in the standings. Doesn't really matter because he's going to miss 2 more rounds after this, right? But just to double check. He is... Oh, he's only 11 points back of 15th. And he can't be top 15 when we go racing in Seattle in, 3 weeks time? 4 weeks time? But he said he's only going to race Daytona and then skip a few rounds after that to make sure he's not top 15 in points. Binge watched live action Avatar. How was it? Not a big Avatar guy myself, but always keen to hear the feedback on it. Ooh, Blake O'Brien swapped diddly through the whoops. Eagle just tried to go 5 onto the second table, I think that was. Tom Holm, John Heilman. Bet these 450 guys are going to have some big boy lines. There is Shirley on the 2. Where is the 700 machine? There's Speck. There is Johnson. So the 2022 450 National Motocross Champion is here. What will we have out of him tonight? Not sure why he still runs the 700, but whatever. All right, 450 heat number 1. Time for the big boys. Let's see what we get out of this one. Seth Shirley lined up 5 inside of the box. Here we go, folks. It's time for the 450 class here at Daytona. Shirley with a great jump gets to the corner first, but T-Lang, his teammate, pushes him out a little bit. Tyler Lang is going to get the whole shot. No, it's Seth Shirley by a nose. So Shirley takes the early lead, but going to get jumped over. Doesn't get the double in cleanly. About 4 or 5 riders went by. It's T-Lang out front. Hannah Rogers moving into second alongside Alec Horn on the 27. Trying to get a read on where Johnson is. Did not see the 700, and now Alec Horn gets crossed up and goes down. Marchini hits him. A couple guys hit him. Who went down with him? It looks like it may have been Emmanuel Cepeda or Luke Sullivan, perhaps. Mason Johnson, 18th on timing and scoring right now as we go back to our leader, Tyler Lang. So it's going to be Lang on the 5 who will come down in lead lap number 1. Tanner Rogers in a battle for second place with Caden Speck, Aaron Rockefeller for Zaka, Holmes, Shirley, Larson, Jackson, Eaglin, the top 10. Johnson still 18th. As it runs into the wall jump we go, and Speck almost gets crossed up. Here comes the 88 machine of Rockefeller as they work through the moguls. These 450 boys are trying to let the big dogs eat in the whoops as Rogers goes for a ride off the track. Rockefeller just avoids him. Shirley exits stage right at the end of the whoops. He's going to fall back to 9th because of that. And look at how tight it is as Speck, just ahead of this group right here, is in second. Then you got Rockefeller, Rogers, Holm, Larson, Eaglin, pretty much nose to tail. Frank Jackson just behind them, holding up the caboose. And we got inside, outside options, triple over. Adam Holm goes down. So several riders going to go by as Vanderkoy sneaking up the inside through the tough blocks. So T-Lane goes quad right there. We got Speck going quad, and then what are they going, jumping up on top? Speck goes down, Rockefeller. Speck stayed up. I don't know how. Frank Jackson skirting around these guys goes into third, and now Speck has yard sailed from second. He's over the berm in the Davalos Bales. That might be a real tough spot to rejoin from. He is maybe going to be stuck, trying to back out of him. So he goes from second all the way. Well, almost had a double fall off behind Horn now. He is going to be 14th. Really tough break right there for Caden Speck. And that moves Payson Johnson into a transfer spot. So the 700 machine is now 9th. Let's go on board with him and see what it looks like to rip around Daytona. You got a whole lot of riders right in front of him. 56 of Cepeda just up the road. T-Lang lays in a 129.5 on the first lap. That's 3 seconds faster than any lap we saw in the 250 class. Johnson going to go to 7th with this triple on. Yes, indeed. Nice pass. Cepeda played it nice. Heard a inside move trying to be made, but doesn't get there in time. Seth Shirley, by the way, has slipped all the way back to 14th spot. So we'll check up on his progress in a minute as we watch Johnson. Got to watch out. I think that was Larson hitting the deck there on the 76. So now Johnson has moved all the way up to 6th. Let's see what line he's doing, because he always does ridiculous stuff. No, he's not actually doing the big lines. Oh, here we go. Quad, triple, double all up onto the plateau and off. And alongside of him is Cepeda. Johnson. Woo! These guys are playing pretty nice with each other. Cepeda cuts the line off and does get to the inside to block Johnson. So this is what it's like trying to have a battle. Oh my gosh, crossed over twice on Cepeda. Somehow doesn't hit him. Now he's going to try to go to the outside as Cepeda gets held up on the inside. This turns to the inside right here. Is this a twofer pass by Johnson? Trying to get around Heilman as well. Heilman crosses up over the finish line jump. Doolies. Still side by side now with Cepeda. More dualies. Chaos reigning supreme in this 450 class. Early, well, already midway through this heat race. And Johnson has found his way all the way into 6th now. As we work our way through the whoops, these guys really struggling with trying to find a comfortable spot in those whoops. And I don't blame him, man. Those whoops are gnarly here tonight. Johnson with the quad to the inside. Doesn't work. And lays it down to fall back behind Cepeda. Let's go back a little bit further. This is for Zaka and Larson, 8th and 9th right now, 229 and 76 machines. Got a bit of a gap behind them, so trying to just stick with each other. Luke Sullivan on the 11, not having the heat race he hoped to have. Alec Horn back in 12th right there, or 11th, I should say. Then Devin Davis is 12th. Then Blake O'Brien is trying to go back and find Shirley. Here he is mixing it up right there with Rogers on the 55 and Caden Speck on the 45. And Shirley is trying to make some quick headway through the field right here because he wants to go to the main event. Rogers just went down. We just saw Devin Davis getting squirrely, I think that was, or maybe I'm not sure who that was actually now. Oh, no, it was Blake O'Brien, excuse me. So Shirley going for this option line right here, trying to get over top. There was Devin Davis just down. Speck down the inside, block pass to Shirley. Shirley reads him like a book and cuts back up underneath. Gonna hold on to this spot, but he's getting a little wayward, trying to run down Sullivan. This is Alec Horn, and then now Johnson is in the final transfer spot. Just trying to keep tabs on all of it. Meanwhile, up front, chains for the lead. Lang went down, and Jackson took it over, but I think Jackson was going to get him anyway because Jackson has been laying fastest laps of the race on repeat, and now he goes down from the race lead. He's going to pick it up just as Lang gets there, and Lang retakes the lead on the 5. So now we get to see whether this battle actually materializes or not. And never mind, Lang just goes down in the sand all by himself. Boy, oh boy, this track is reaching up and biting guys tonight. No one can stay away from hitting the deck. And Lang goes from the lead back to 5th in one foul swoop. But I was about to say, Jackson is cooking, and he's going with that triple quad. What is this? Quad line, I guess? 5? I don't even know what he just did right there. Yeah, so Frank Jackson takes over the lead. 1:28.7 last time by. He went over a second faster than everybody and over 3 seconds faster than pretty much everybody. So he is absolutely cooking right now on the 28 Underground RC Kawasaki. Gonna get the white flag this time by. 7 minutes have elapsed. This is almost going to be a 9-minute heat race when all is said and done. And Jackson now takes the white flag. So let's go back to this battle for second. T-Lang just got around this group, or he's actually right on Vanderkoy. Oh my goodness. Dualies, Trileys basically with the 49 of Heilman bringing up Caboose. Now we got Trileys. Let's go. They all kick out the same direction, and they're pretty much 3 wide on the wall jump. Heilman's trying to split the gap, and he might get them both. Lang trying to hold it on, does keep that position. Now 3 different lines in the whoops. Who gets the better run? Lang's got a great one. Heilman also got through them really clean. This is a terrific little battle right here for the second position on the track. So Lang picked it up and immediately goes back to flying. Trying to bring this thing all the way home in second now. Mistake for Heilman, doesn't get the rhythm. Here comes Cepeda alongside Vanderkoy. You also have Eaglin getting back into the mix on the 24. That's the Honda just appearing over that wall jump. Different line options. Let's see what we get. Cepeda goes big triple, big quad. Heilman goes pirouetting on the ground. Cepeda nails the quad out. He's holding on to second. And Lang went down. Yes, Lang is down on the top of the jump right here. Man, this is crazy. These guys are all making a ton of mistakes. And no one seems to want to win this thing other than Frank Jackson, because he has put it together here at the end. A late little crash didn't matter, as Frank Jackson takes 450 heat number 1. Does a sweet underflip over the line and nails it. Looks like it's going to be Cepeda from Eagland, and then Lang 4th. Johnson got all the way to 5th. He's going to the main. For Zaka 6th, Heilman 7th, Sullivan 8th, and Vanderkoy is 9th. Bilar's trying to keep it close, but I don't think he's going to get there. Looks like Evmoof is going to put it in the main here tonight at Daytona, and the 86 machine does it. Evmoof going to the main event here at MX Simulator Daytona. Brandon Larson going to miss out. Seth Shirley also down and out. He is going to the LCQ along with Caden Speck, Alec Horn, Devin Davis, Tanner Rogers, Race Cobble, Aaron Rockefeller, these guys in a heated battle. Adam Holm and Blake O'Brien. Who's going to win the mid-off back here? Rockefeller, Cobble, and Rogers going for it. Rogers sneaks up the inside. They both jump off the track, and Cobble gets it by a nose. Fun little fight. As Adam Holmes stops up on the finish line jump, and Blake O'Brien brings us all the way to the line. Penalties are in. Let's see if it changed anything in our top 10. Second place changed. Cepeda loses it to Eaglin, but Jackson takes the dub. Payson Johnson's going to the main event. And so much of the chat has rejoiced on that, because every single week we get people tuning into the chat and they just say, I ain't watching until Payson comes back. Well, Payson's back and he's in the main event. And he ran a 127.4 on the last lap of the race, so he absolutely cooked as well. I Love NASCAR asks, is Seth Shirley running the full 450 season for outdoors? Yes, that is at least what he has told us. Whether that changes or not, I don't know. All right, 450 Heat 2 is coming up, folks. Let me give you guys a rundown of who is going to be in this one, in case you're watching from home looking for your favorite rider. Perhaps Reno Brennan is your favorite rider, and guess what? He's in this heat race. Caleb Hall, Nick Sellen, Joseph Pilsner, Noah Bindis, Chase Blakely, Spencer Turley, Braden Castellaneta, Braden Carter, Jacob Hubbard, Jack Haley, Alexis Leclerc, Ethan Parks, Chase, Anthony Pachone, Joseph Pilsner, Jeremy Smith, Pablo Vial, Tyler Nichols, Trevor Burns, Braden Tharp. Did I miss anybody? Evan Holt, also in this one. Anthony Pachone. I think I got everyone. They're all swapping positions here on the first lap of the lineup check. Oh. Oh, I've had this cough all dang year. This won't go away. Yeah, I definitely need some milk. All right, where's the 500? I hear it. There it is. Trevor Burns ripping the CR 500 here tonight. Oh, gosh. What a save. Old school Fox kit as well. Clean. I like it. Former teammate of mine, Trevor Burns. Alrighty, folks, time for the final heat race of the night. 450 heat number 2. Top 9 go to the main event. 6 minutes plus a lap. Everybody else heading to the last chance qualifier. It's like Braden Carter chose the far inside gate alongside Alexis Leclerc. Let's go a little bit more middle here. Joseph Pilsner on the 976 inside gate of the box. 450 heat 2, folks. Here we go. Hubbard, whole shot king to the inside. Leclerc's trying to beat him to the punch, but it is Hubbard. Ahead of Leclerc, Castellaneta, Carter, all the Phil Ski and Snowboard KTMs are right at the sharp end of the field, which is no surprise to anybody. but it's led through by the Pied Piper himself, Jacob Hubbard. So it's Hubbard, Leclerc, Castellaneta, Carter, and here comes that CR500 of Trevor Burns down the inside, trying to move into fourth. Oh, leader down, Hubbard. Oh, Carter is also down and off the bike. That's going to put him down the order, and he's going to have to work his way through. So Leclerc takes over the race lead from Castellaneta and Burns. Jeremy Smith now fourth with Noah Bindis inside the top 5 at the end of the first lap. Carter looks like he has picked it up in the 14 spot, just behind his teammate Hubbard as they swap positions back and forth, now battling for 13th. Oh, Leclerc swapping in the whoops. These whoops are going to kill people tonight. And here comes Castellaneta down the inside. Gonna move into the race lead on the 22. Leclerc trying to fight back immediately. Pulls up alongside, squares off the corner again, trying to get the traction down into the sand. Still almost alongside, inside line. Doubles in and retakes the lead for a minute. Castellaneta still right there, and Burns on the 500. Making some noise there. None of them get the big lines. Well, there they go. Quad. Oh, Burns down huge in the background. Oh, that is crispy when they downside the back of that big roller. So Leclerc now goes down, and Castellaneta almost made the exact same mistake. So Castellaneta takes the lead. Jeremy Smith moves to second. And down the inside goes Evan Holt into third as Burns block passes Chase Blakely to get into fifth. Now he's almost alongside Leclerc, trying to triple out of the inside line. Pulls up nearly alongside of him onto the tunnel and makes the pass stick now down the inside of his teammate. Evan Holt swings the outside and holds the position. Holtzy doesn't know what hit him, man. He just got absolutely attacked by the 500. By the way, Carter is still 12th at the end of one full lap. All these guys are just trying to figure it out here. Into the whoops. This thing is so treacherous, and it takes Burns down. Leclerc goes by. Holt, Blakely, the 57 of Pachone. Hubbard hits Burns and goes down. We also got a couple more guys down in the background. That is Pilsner. It looks like he went down with Haley. Getting into them as well right there is the 412 machine. Where is Braden Carter? Oh my goodness. What the heck? Where is he? Did I miss him? There he is. Okay, the one machine did sneak through. He's now 14th. And wow, this could be something if he doesn't make some passes here. Because he went down again. He was up to 12th. He slipped back to 16th. He's now 14th. Thanks to some crashes. He's got to try to be smart here, make the passes when they come. Jumps across, doesn't get the line, so checks up. Very smart because he's going to get 2 passes. His teammate Hubbard just went down as well. Now up to 12th. And going to be 11th because Pilsner goes down in front of him. I'm just trying to get a bird's eye perspective of what Carter is still looking at in front of him. It's Jack Haley just ahead of Nick Sellen, who is in the transfer spot. And those are 2 no slouches whatsoever. Nick Sellen, a European champion. Jack Haley, the 2019 MotoOption Supercross champion. Not going to be easy passes for Braden Carter, to say the least. So maybe they go up and try to pass Anthony Pachone. Trevor Burns is also just up there in the mix. So this is, again, a bird's eye view of what he's looking at. A lot of positions in front of him, but getting there is easier said than done. And now Jack Haley goes down. He's over the back of the berm. So now he just needs one more pass to get into a transfer spot, but then he also has to stay there as well. That's not going to help. Got some guys battling it out up ahead of him. Oh, Carter almost lost the rear end right there, but closes right up onto Sellen. Oh, almost hits his rear tire. Got Parks, Caleb Hall, all right in front of him. These guys both going for the quad. Carter with the rear end kick, and down goes Trevor Burns on the 500. Carter moves up to 9th, and there's chaos about to ensue ahead of him as Sellen gets into the rear tire there of Caleb Hall, and Carter's now up into 8th. Meanwhile, battle for the lead is on. Jeremy Smith has taken it over from Braden Castellaneta. Castellaneta ran a 129.2 in the race lead last time by, then crashed, puts it in 141.5. So now Smith is out front and Castellaneta is doing the chasing. So Smith is leading this thing, but Castellaneta wants a piece of it back. Into the whoops they go. They're all trying to hug that middle line, not get caught out. Castellaneta alongside, battle into the corner. Smith has the inside and will hold on for the time being. Smith goes to the inside here as well. Castellaneta swings wide. Is going to go triple single to the inside to try to take the lead, but jumped off the track and thought better of it. So Smith holds on for the time being. It's Leclerc still in 3rd, just ahead of Holt, and now Carter has made it all the way into the top 5. Look at this line from Castellaneta trying to split the difference. No, is not going to get up on top of that jump. And Smith now opens up a small advantage. 1.5 seconds is the gap. So time has expired. Jeremy Smith is about to come down and take the white flag. So who the heck is going to win this heat race? Smith versus Castellaneta. Pablo Vial resets fastest lap of the race at a 128.9 in 13th. So really has got to make some quick passes here. Looks like Reno Brennan and Jack Haley are out of this race as the white flag waves. Jeremy Smith versus Braden Castellaneta. Leclerc is lurking in the background just in case these two get together. And as I say that, Leclerc goes down. So now it's a mano-a-mano fight between Smith and Castellaneta for the win. Castellaneta gets onto the second table and off and almost pulls even with him. Holy smokes, that's a big boy line right there. That's a 5 onto the second table. Smith still going for this inside line. Castellaneta almost made the pass for the lead last time. Does it work this time? Not quite. Smith around the outside keeps it on. Very respectful racing for these two. Now what are the rhythm options like? Smith 2, 3, Castellaneta 2, 4. 4. Smith triples out. Castellaneta is going to go up and over the tunnel. Downsides it, trying to triple into the corner behind him, but it turns out to be pretty even in the end. Now who chooses the option line here? I think they're both going to tuck inside. No, outside for Castellaneta, inside for Smith. Smith cuts back over, blocks the line off. Double through here into the tunnel. And 2 turns to go. Which options do they take? Castellaneta follows Smith in, so this is Smith's for the win if he gets his final corner good. And there it is. Jeremy Smith is going to take 450, heat number 2 at Daytona. Castellaneta 2nd. Leclerc 3rd. Evan Holt 4th. Nick Sellen 5th. Hubbard all the way up to 6th. Park 7th. Turley 8th. Tharp is 9th, and he was battling with Braden Carter. Got pushed out of the rut, and Carter looks like he will survive. Carter taking the final transfer spot to the main event by 1.7 seconds, so you never know, that could come down to cuts. But looking at live timing and scoring, it doesn't look like the penalties will knock him back. So Tharp, Blakely, Bindus, Pachone, Caleb Hall, Tyler Nichols, Trevor Burns, Pablo Vial, Jack Haley, and Reno Brennan headed to the LCQ. And Carter just sneaks in by the skin of his teeth. All right, so penalties are in, and Carter does indeed qualify for the main event in P9. Turley, Parks, Hubbard, Sellen, Holt, Leclerc, Castellaneta, And Jeremy Smith confirmed as the race winner. No penalties for anybody all the way down to Nick Sellen in 5th. So everyone kept it tidy on the track for the most part. And in the end, it's a dub for the 4. All right, LCQ time, folks. 250 last chance qualifier coming up. Oh, you guys are all too kind in the chat. Yeah, I'm going to have to say no to the marriage request. I am happily married. Oh. All right, this is actually kind of crazy. This 250 LCQ has Rasmus Balzer, the defending 250 East champion and round 1 winner in it. And man, if he doesn't go to the main event here tonight, that is going to be a huge disappointment for the 1E. I don't even know what's going on in the chat right now. You guys are having fun. Starting to lose my voice a little bit, I think. The raspiness is coming out. Trying to blow my nose here. Oh. Yeah, I know. Should actually mute my mic. No, honestly, my daughter was diagnosed with pneumonia last week, and yeah, I just we've been battling illnesses freaking all year, I feel like, in this house, and I'm ready for it to go away. I've had a cough all year. Ugh. Gainesville was sick. I don't think the weather in Florida could have been any nicer. Humidity was low. It was 75 degrees out. It's like they brought the California weather to me, I feel like. Didn't get a chance to ride the Triumph. Was way too busy filming for basically 3 different entities while I was there. But really cool to be at that event, and got to talk to one of my favorites in the GPs, Clement DeSalle. All right, LCQ time. Gonna keep an eye on Balzer, because this is big news if he doesn't go to the main event. Out of this last chance qualifier, the 1E has got to make it through. Only 4 spots, and a lot of guys want in. 250 LCQ from Daytona. Pretty good jump, controls the inside line, and this is exactly what Rasmus Balzer needed. He got the whole shot. He's got Daniel Mills right with him. Now settle in and try to get away while the chaos ensues behind you. Big whip off this Supercross triple. The aggression and frustrations of not making it in out of the heat race are coming out. But Balzer needs to settle in and not let things get out of hand here in a hurry. He's got D Mills, Brett Powers, and Alex Zellner right behind him. Trying to see what's some big names that went down early on. Looks like Austin Bear is 17th, now 19th. He went down. Trent Adams also went down. Rogan McIntosh is 15th. Heavy names. Christopher McPherson dead last at the end of the first lap. Nick Tomasunis is in 21st. Oh, Balzer bouncing in the whoops. I think those are his real weak point tonight. Somehow stayed on two wheels through a lot of the heat race, but then it bit him, and it bit him bad. So it is Balzer still leading from D-Mills, and a big gap back to Alex Zellner and Brett Powers. Oh, Powers heard me say that I could finally see his bike and was like, you know what? Let's switch to something Kellen doesn't have. I mean, we never want to see Donut MX. Not sure what it is that he doesn't want me to see what he's got. Maybe he's just got a bike that's covered in all the memes that he posts. Oh, Balzer was down, and he goes back to 4th place. Uh-oh, trouble time. He's got 4 seconds back to 5th. Not clean through there. Killian Ortiz trying to close it down with Cole Betts coming with him. You also got J.R. Reyes and Trent Adams. A lot of guys in this mix that could make a very unhappy night for Balzer. These guys battling it out behind, but just want to keep an eye on the 1E as it's Mills, Zellner, Powers, and Balzer. Really interested to see the whoops, though, because Balzer, like I said, struggled in the heat race. Let's see. Gets up on top, bounces, and survives. But I think even he knows that's his trouble area because he certainly checked up after. Now trying to get around Powers to get into 3rd. A little bit of breathing room if he can. Also doesn't want to get caught up in what Powers is doing. Inside, double. Powers gonna hold the inside line here. Balzer squares it back off and triples to pull up alongside. Now this is where he crashed last time. Powers is really making him work for it, and they're still basically side by side into this rhythm section. 3-3-3 and out. Little short Ks for Balzer, and Powers is still side by side all the way to the end, but Balzer hangs on and gets into 3rd. 3 seconds back from 4th to 5th place as Powers now settles in, and then there comes Cole Betts on the 234, bringing Trent Adams with him. Oh, Jake Kazarian just went over the bars. So Powers now going to try to settle in right behind Balzer and maybe go with him. Mills has taken over the race lead over Zellner, by the way. Or I should say, has continued to pull away in the race lead because I forgot he was in the lead after Balzer went down. Ran a 1:33.1 last time by, then Zellner, and here comes Balzer into the whoops. Balzer is hopping sideways again and gets around the downed rider Alex Zellner into 2nd place. White flag going to come out next time by. Almost certainly as Zellner and Donut almost come together. So Balzer now can breathe a little sigh of relief because he's got about 9 seconds between him and 5th place. And that's what really matters in the end as Zellner almost goes through the front door. But you're never completely out of the woods. And Balzer's just got to try to stay on 2 wheels and bring this thing home. He might even close up on D Mills on these last couple laps here. Battle it out for the win. This is still our battle for 3rd place on screen. Zellner and Brett Powers. And now it's a 5.4 second gap back to Cole Betts. Oh, Zellner. Little all over the place right now, but obviously maybe a little bit nervous in the position that he's in. Oh, hit a tough block, and here comes Powers alongside of him. Heck? That was weird. Did you guys hear that? Or is that just me? My headphones just had an aneurysm. Just heard like the loudest noise ever inside my headphones. Well, that was really weird and scared the crap out of me because it was really loud. Seriously, never heard that. I don't know what just happened. Anyway, back to the racing, and D Mills just absolutely died, and Balzer is down 2. Fortunately for them, they're still going to pick it up 1-2. But yeah, I don't know what the heck that was. They both just hit the same trampoline in the ground, apparently. And the battle is still on for the win of this LCQ, but I think they'd be better to stay on 2 wheels because Cole Betts is not that far back if they were both to go down. So Mills is going to try to bring this thing home with the win despite the last lap death. Balzer ran a 131.2, so the speed came around in the end, but Mills will bring this thing home to take the LCQ win. And Daniel Mills goes to the main event with a front flip to boot. Balzer survives. He's going through in second. Zellner makes the main event in third. And Donut MX completes the 250 lineup here tonight in Daytona. Cole Betts ran a solid race, but those guys ahead of him just refused to make mistakes. Kyle Boardman, Max Wilczek, Christopher McPherson, Killiam Ortiz. Down after that tunnel jump right there. Nick Thomas-Sunis and Rogan McIntosh, another couple guys that we normally see in the main events but will not be going to them tonight. Harrison Gafford, Blake Cox, Carl Novak. Why is Carl Novak running Verb Moto Brighton Carroll on YouTube? Is he like Brighton Keller's vlogger or something like that? Alex Heckman heading home early tonight. Trent Adams, Logan Mortberg, Jake Kazarian, J.R. Reyes, Austin Bear, Kerry Owings, Will Canal going with him. All right, we're just waiting for those cuts to come in to confirm, but I don't think... Actually, I could just look over here. Yeah, Brett Powers is going to make it in. Can see timing and scoring giving me the cuts before the race is completely done, which is a super nice addition. Thanks to our guy, Jacob Hubbard. And there we go. Penalties are in, and it does indeed stay the same. Mills, Balzer, Zellner, and Powers going to the main event. Here comes my daughter. Let's get her on the screen. Why not? Come on over, Holly. You want to come talk? You want to talk to the people?
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
Where the hills we go, laughing all the way, and Mama shows the street. Where the hills we go, laughing all the way, and Mama shows the street. Hey, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Well, for it's the way to where my
Yay! Good job, Holly. Great song. Good night. All right. Great little piece and ditty in between our last chance qualifiers. Night-night. Good night. Ah, that was fun. Nice little music to cheer us all up heading into the 450 last chance qualifier. Yeah, she's definitely been singing a lot more lately, and it's not always Jingle Bells, but she definitely learned it this past Christmas and was belting it nonstop. Need a singing portion of the stream every night. Yeah. All right, 450 last chance qualifier. We got Caleb Hall, Joseph Pilsner, Noah Bindis, Blake O'Brien, Chase Blakely, Pablo Vial, Seth Shirley, Devin Davis, Nico Marchini, Braden Tharp, Anthony Pachone, Tyler Nichols, Reno Brennan, Tanner Rogers, Trevor Burns, Brandon Larson, Race Cobble, Alec Horn, Aaron Rockefeller, Caden Speck, Adam Holm, and Jack Haley going to the line in this one. Obviously, a lot of eyes on Seth Shirley, who won the Detroit MX Simulator Supercross on a 450 and has also won every single 250 West race he's competed in. He elected not to go to the main event in Arlington, even though he qualified. He gave his position to Frank Jackson after finishing 4th in the LCQ. And now he is trying to legitimately make the main event tonight here in Daytona. Said he wanted to come back and race Daytona, and then he would be done until 250 West restarts back in Seattle in a couple weeks. So now we need to see if he makes it into the main event. Oh my gosh, these guys are on their Starks. Dude, these sound like the old 450. No. What is this? The old 450s, I think? This is what 450s used to sound like in the game. Or 250s? The bikes definitely used to sound like this in the game, but this is the Underground RC Stark Vargs in the game, and since it has to have a sound file, they just changed it to this weird sounding thing. Very interesting. I don't think I've seen any of these guys try to race these yet, so it's still on the 450 dyno. In fact, Caleb Hall, no, who were we just watching? The 88, Aaron Rockefeller, is specifically on the Husqvarna 450 2017 dyno. So it's not dyno fix, but yeah, they're going to ride the Stark Vargs in this one, interestingly enough. So here we go. Caleb Hall, Aaron Rockefeller, they're both on it. Does Seth Shirley go to the main? Who else goes with him? If he does, as we're off and running, Shirley's got a good jump. He's going to get pushed wide, and down is the two machine. Shirley down in the first corner. Tharp gets the whole shot, brings Pilars with him in the 2 spot. And now we have got a long road ahead of us if you are Seth Shirley fans here tonight. So it's Tharp, Larson, Bindis, and Burns. Burns on the CR 500. Oh my gosh, death out of Alec Horn as he goes over the bars. And guys kind of split either direction. Let's see, there is Shirley going by Horn. So Shirley has now made it into 17th. Remember, you got to be top 4 out of the LCQ to go in. Tharp lays it over ahead of Larson, Burns, and Marchini. Just ahead of Blakely at the end of lap number 1. Oh, Blakely almost got swapped into the side of Marchini as they go over the triple jump nearly side by side. Got Noah Bindis right there in the background on the 241. Blakely down the inside, makes a pass into 4th, and Bindis squares off, gets around Marchini. They get together. They both go down. Guys are hitting them, and Blakely's down at the end of the whoops. Guys are going every which direction. Shirley's down in the middle of it. We got guys getting together. Shirley gets hit from behind. 9 guys are in the whoops. There's dudes down everywhere right now, and they're still crashing at the end of it. So now Larson goes to the race lead. Burns 2nd, Tharp 3rd, and Pachone is in 4th. Shirley has picked it up in 19th place. If there's any saving grace, it's that so many guys are down with him that he's actually not that far behind the transfer spot. He is only, I say this very carefully though, he's only 16 seconds behind a transfer spot. Oh, Pachone slid it into that corner real gnarly as he's got Pilsner trying to close up. There's Alec Horn, Jack Haley, Noah Bindis, Ray's Cobble nearly coming together with Devin Davis. There's Marchini behind Speck and Blakely. Davis gets back on the track alongside all of these guys. As through the front door goes Caden Speck. He goes down. Blake O'Brien, Pablo Vial. There is Speck, and there is Shirley getting into Speck and going down. I don't know, Seth. You had like 9 minutes to figure out which direction to go right there, and then you still hit him. Oh, new leader, Trevor Burns, putting the CR500 out front in the LCQ. Into the whoops we go. Ooh, great run for Trevor Burns in the whoops right there. On off super clean. And then Tharp. There's Pachone and Larson. So Larson had lost the lead. He went down twice and now slips all the way back to 4th. Pilsner is right there, and Jack Haley's not too far behind him either. Yeah, look at Haley right there behind Pilsner on the 212 Honda. There's Pilsner on the 976. I think that's a Cowie. No, it's a Yamaha, sorry. Can't tell with all these white bikes. Oh, down goes Larson. So now this is your transfer spot battle. Pilsner versus Haley. Looks like Haley's going to get it, at least for the time being. Doolies in the background. Pilsner and Horn side by side. Oh, Horn passes him. Pilsner goes back up the inside to repass him. They're still side by side battling. And this is only for 5th. Oh, Haley goes down in front of him, so it does change over. Horn goes by. Pilsner sneaks through. And Haley pulls up alongside Pilsner, but it doesn't matter because they're still battling for 5th as Horn has gone into the final transfer spot. So it's Tharp, Burns, Pachone, Horn in transfer spots. Then Pilsner, Bindis, Larson, O'Brien, Haley, and Hall inside the top 10. Seth Surley is now 13th for those keeping track. And time might expire this time by. In fact, it should expire this time by for race leader Braden Tharp. Yeah, no chance he gets back in 30 seconds. So 2 laps to go. This is our battle for 2nd right now. Burns versus Pachone. Oh, Pachone front flipping and lands it to save onto a transfer spot, then squares off in front of Horn. They almost get together. Oh, neither of them looking very comfortable on rhythm entry right there. And now they're timing each other opposite ways through this one. Pachone tries to jump up on top, and Horn is going to just skirt by him to get into 3rd and push Pachone to the final spot. Closing up behind them is Bindis, then O'Brien, Larson, Hall, Haley, and Pilsner. Fastest lap of the race, Alec Horn ran last time by at a 130.6. As Burns still just ahead of them, and Tharp checks in, taking the white flag this time by. 1 lap to go in this LCQ. And it is 20 seconds for Seth Surley that he still has to make up to try to make it. And I think he maybe just went down again in the background. Yes, he did. He is losing spots as we speak. And I think that might be race over for Seth Surley. Or at least chance at making it in over. It was probably already over anyway. Oh, Burns is definitely going down in the whoops. Alec Horn goes by. Anthony Pachone goes by. Here comes Blake O'Brien from 5th. Burns is going to pick it up, but now the wiggle room is minimal because there is O'Brien, there's Larson, there's Bindis. They're all lurking and want to get around that CR500 to make it into the main event. So Burns is the bubble man. Oh, he's kind of all over the place. He's trying to keep it together. Going to go with the double in, play it safe. Triple. A little long on the triple. Fortunate not to have a legs right there. Oh, Alec Horn picking it up from a crash is going to get past. And O'Brien is still just back there hoping he can make it in. Burns a little short, doesn't go down. Look at this. This is going to get really close. O'Brien's getting closer. Trying to put the pressure on Horn with 2 turns to go. Braden Tharp out front is about to bring it across the line to win. There it is. Oh, Horn slides out. O'Brien charging into these last couple corners, but Horn makes it through the last turn and goes to the main event in P4 by just over a second over O'Brien. Larson misses out, as does Pilsner. Tanner Rogers, Aaron Rockefeller, Caleb Hall, Chase Blakely, Devin Davis, Nico Marchini, Tyler Nichols, Race Cobble, Noah Bindis, Seth Shirley, Jack Haley, Pablo Vial, Reno Brennan, Caden Speck, and Adam Holm. No Seth Shirley in the main event tonight, and I think it was legit. I think he was trying to make it, and unfortunately things just didn't go his way for the 2 machine here tonight. So tough break for him, as the 2 Stark Vargs are just having a death battle, trying to figure out who will cross the line first. So we'll wait for those cuts. Wait for those cuts to come in and see if anything changes. It's really between Horn and O'Brien for this 4th and final transfer spot. I think it is going to stay in the favor of Alec Horn based on what I see here. There we go. Penalties are in, and it does stay the same. Horn goes through along with Burns, Pachone, and Tharp. Tharp picks up the win. And that is it, folks. We are set for the main events here tonight. 250 main event coming up first. Round 3 of the 250 East Championship. Are we going to have our 3rd different winner to start the season? Balzer won the opener. Padani won round 2 last week. Who is about to win the Daytona Supercross and MX Simulator? We are just moments away from finding out. All right. Apologies. I was just trying to save my voice for 2 intense main events coming up. Pretty sure I will not have a voice by the end of them, based on what we've already seen here tonight. So who you folks got at home to win this 250 main event? Cade Matherly needs a massive rebound. Matt Cromie almost won last week. He would love to put his name in the winner's circle. Garrett Hollenbeck was a surprise heat race winner here tonight. Balzer went through the LCQ. How about Daniel Mills? Any Daniel Mills fans out there? Johnny Padani holds the red plate. He's trying to keep him red going into Alabama next week. Got a lot of Chrome Dog fans in the chat room here. Saru, Jaden, Dirt Bike Rider, all vote for Cromie. Awood's got Johnny Tsunami for the whole shot, and that actually reminds me, we have got to pick ourselves the Design Lab Co. whole shot winner. Head over to thedesignlabco.com and find yourself some sweet graphics made by the one, the only Nick Porter. And thanks to them for giving us the Whole Shot Award here this year. I don't know who to pick, man. It is anybody's game rolling into tonight. Don't feel like Matherly's going to be a whole shot guy, but you never really know. You know what? I think I'm going to cater to the crowd here. I think Matt Cromie picks up the Design Lab Co. Whole Shot Award on the 39 Phil Ski and Snowboard KTM. Those guys have been getting good starts all night. They've got it figured out. The start map is dialed over at Phil Ski and Snowboard. All right, we got some Johnny Padani picks out here. Matt Cromie, another pick for him. Padani, Joey Carter for the whole shot. Dirt Bike Rider picks Seth Carr for the whole shot. Not a bad pick. Esun thinks Carr is going to win. It's time for round 3 of 250 East. Catch the fever, folks. Here we go. It's the Daytona Supercross in MX Simulator, round 8 of MotoOption Supercross, but round 3 of 250 East. It's live on Start Your Systems, and we are about to see the third race of this championship and perhaps the third different winner on the season. Make sure we get loaded in and good to go. Get the timer up on the screen and find out who's going to get that all-important Design Lab Co. Whole Shot Award. It's round 3 of 250 East, and it starts right now. Maxime Vanderbeek with a great jump out of the gate. Johnny Padani is there. Partillo pushes wide. Who gets the whole shot? Padani's down, and it's Austin Partillo with the Design Lab Co. Whole Shot Award. Partillo on the 52 leads the field away with Vanderbeek right behind him. Hollenbeck is up in third with Quino and Chwalik inside the top 5. Padani is in 20th for the championship leader after crashing out of turn 1. Matherly's back there with them as well. Oh man, Balzer in 7th out of the LCQ with a great start as hung up Partillo almost allows Maxime Vanderbeek through. And this is a tight-knit freight train on the opening lap. Vanderbeek settles in behind him. Everybody goes to the inside after the tunnel jump, and it is a freight train to complete lap number 1. Partillo, Vanderbeek, Chwalik, Balzer, Quino, Hollenbeck, the top 6. And you can see Chwalik pulling up alongside Vanderbeek, wanted to make a pass, and Vanderbeek scrubbed super hard to hold on to that position. Now Balzer pulls up alongside Chwalik in a battle for third. Chwalik down the inside into this corner, shows a nose there to Vanderbeek. Balzer getting into the whoops, trying to split the difference on these guys, getting sideways, but a nice save. Triple on, off, down the inside, a twofer to the lead goes Max Chwalik, as getting hung up was Partillo. So from the lead all the way back to about 10th for Austin Partillo as he gets going. Really costly mistake for the 52 ride. So Chwalik leads from Vanderbeek. Then Balzer, Hollenbeck, and Zellner inside the top 5. Padani has climbed his way to 14th, just ahead of Matherly in 15th. Look at Balzer closing up on Vanderbeek now in 2nd. And Balzer, from maybe not even making the main event and a tricky LCQ at that, it wasn't all smooth sailing for him, to now battling for the race lead as he is putting the pressure on Vanderbeek. He cases the tunnel jump, and that costs him some time, and then Chwalik slides the nose out, and Maxime Vanderbeek takes it over. Balzer slips into 2nd, lands in the tough blocks, but stays upright. So now it's Maxime Vanderbeek's turn to lead as Balzer crosses over far left to far right, scrubbing the wall jump. And he is going to be right on Vanderbeek, but the whoops have been tricky for him tonight. Let's see how he does this run through. Great drive on top, bounces a little bit, gets kicked sideways, and stays on 2 wheels just barely as Chwalik gets back by him. 3 riders from 3 different nations in Europe battling it out. You got the Belgian, Maxime Vanderbeek, leading from Chwalik, who I believe is from Poland. And then Balzer from Denmark holds on to 3rd. Look at that inside line from Balzer. I think he thought better of it, though, with Chwalik. Man, this is a great battle for the lead between these three. Balzer goes big time line. Quads up. Quads again. Will this be enough for the lead as he pulls alongside? He's going to launch out to the outside of Vanderbeek and take over the lead. Holy smokes, what a move. Now does Vanderbeek have a response here? Oh man, they almost came together. And now Chwalik pulls alongside Vanderbeek as they go into the tunnel jump. Who goes for the line? It is going to be Vanderbeek inside, but Chwalik might make this inside right here work. Let's see. Rips it, pulls alongside. Oh, it's close. Dooley's over the finish line jump just behind our race leader, Balzer. And Chwalik off the track rejoins Dooley's again. Now they're going to split into this wall jump. Balzer still scrubbing from left to right to stay on the right side in the moguls. Vanderbeek has the outside, but Chwalik uses the inside to his advantage. Into the whoops we go again. Oh, Chwalik is sideways and just saves it as Vanderbeek had to start jumping through, and somehow Chwalik stays on two wheels and in some fashion or another holds on to second place as well. Padani just reset fastest lap of the race. He's in 9th as Balzer starts to inch away out front. And now we got a change for 3rd. Garrett Hollenbeck has moved around. Vanderbeek, couple too many mistakes for the 48 ride there. So Vanderbeek back on the tail of the 742. Garrett Hollenbeck has come to play tonight, man. He has looked so good. His heat race win was comfortable all the way through. Didn't seem to put a foot wrong, and now the start is really all that's hampered him because he's worked his way into this mix. Balzer 4-second lead over Chwalik, another 4 seconds back to Hollenbeck here. And then Vanderbeek and Gummison rounding out our top 5. New fastest lap of the race as he goes purple to light up the timesheets. Rasmus Balzer puts in a 1:31.2. And just looking down the field, that is more than 2 seconds faster than anybody on the track right now. This goes to show the times he's putting in. Now Seth Carlay's in a 32.9, and Balzer's down with the lead in the whoops. Well, we said they would be tricky for him, and it finally bites him here on lap number 5. Chwalik retakes the lead. Here comes Hollenbeck, and looping out in the background, almost going down was Vanderbeek. But he saves it and holds on to 4th. So now Balzer has to do the chasing again, 3 seconds down of our race leader Chwalik. And I think these whoops have just been making him so mad here tonight. He just can't figure it out. But let's see if he goes for the big line here. Wheelies in. No, does not go for it. Sticks with the double, triple, triple, triple option instead. 2.4 seconds the gap to Chwalik in the race lead. I mean, credit to Chwalik. He is putting in some solid times. But Vanderbeek's raw pace just overwhelming him a little bit right now as the gap is now down under 2 seconds. So we amazingly are already just about at the halfway point of this race, even though this is only the completion of lap number 5. This might be an 11, maybe 12 lap main event. It's going to be quick. As Chwalik lays it over, but here comes Balzer. A second in it between the leaders, and you can see them both going for that scrub across line, trying to stay low. Oh, Chwalik really fighting the bike through those moguls, and now into the whoops again. Chwalik gets sideways this time, and Balzer has to back out of the challenge. Battle for the lead is on. Step on, step off for both of them. Little tire tap line there for Balzer into the corner. Through the sand, who goes inside, who goes outside. Balzer down the inside trying to make the pass to the lead. Chwalik is going to triple out of this corner and jump to the inside, but he cases it, and Balzer takes advantage to go to the lead again. So now Balzer has to try to settle in. Does he still go for the triple here? He does, and quads up right after it. Quads out. Easily done. And a 1.5 second advantage to boot with it. Schwalik is going to try his best to keep that gap close. All the way back to Hollenbeck in third still, just barely ahead of Vanderbeek. Vanderbeek just got real sideways behind him, though. And a nice save. Seth Carr has done a really good job. Last time I checked timing and scoring, he was outside the top 15. He's now 5th, running 1:32.4s. Balzer resets fastest lap of the race. 1:30.9 in the race lead. Battle for 4th is on. Seth Carr is alongside Maxime Vanderbeek. And I'll stick with this battle. I just want to see how Balzer gets through the whoops. He's good that time, clean. Meanwhile, Schwalik is sideways. Good save. And here we go back to this battle for 4th place. Ooh, bad run in for Vanderbeek. He's going to hop a little bit. Nobody really got through clean. Zoller's there in the background on the 42. Badani is still 10th for anybody keeping tabs on our points leader. And it most certainly will go back to Balzer as it runs. Zoller's got by Seth Carr. A little bit of switch up there, I should say. And Carr down the inside is going to get him right back to go into 5th. So this is where kind of the action is right now, what Seth Carr is able to accomplish. Cade Matherly and Johnny Padani just swap places for 10th. Not too far behind this group either. They are about 5 seconds back at this one right here. Let's actually go back and find them. So there's Zoller's 6th, 7th for Partillo, 8th for Gummison, 9th for Jack Mark. There's Matherly in 10th, and our red plate holder, Johnny Padani, is in 11th. So at one point, Padani was really cooking through the field as Hollenbeck went down and Padani just stopped up in front of Matherly. So Hollenbeck goes from 3rd all the way back to 9th in one crash. That's how close this group is right now. Balzer just reset fastest lap of the race again at a 1:30 flat. Take a look at him in the whoops and he's down just as I suspected. Another mistake in the whoops for Rasmus Balzer. Is this what we're going to see here tonight? He continuously runs down the leaders and passes them and crashes in the whoops. That's the 2nd time in 8 laps he's crashed in the whoops. And for his sake, you hope it's the last, but I don't know. We'll see. We've got 4 minutes on the clock. And we've completed 7 laps, and now the race for the lead is on again. Schwalik is just sticking to his guns. Balzer's trying to go for the big boy lines. It's the quad again. I mean, the whoops are almost what kept Balzer out of the main event here tonight. And now it's what's trying to keep him from winning this main event. So here we go, folks. Coming down to the final 3 minutes, plus a lap of this one. And once again, it's the same battle we saw 3 laps ago. Schwalik leads. Balzer's trying to close the gap down as Schwalik really tosses on the triple right there. And now Seth Carr has moved into 3rd and just put in a 31-1 last time by. That is the guy Balzer really doesn't want to see because he is running similar laps to what Balzer is doing. Balzer hopping through the whoops. I mean, honestly, if you're Balzer and you're able to get into the lead around Schwalik, I would almost consider going to jumping those things for the final few laps of this. Max Schwalik. So much promise in the speed that he elicits every single week. Can it finally break through for a win here at Daytona? That was a rough entry right there. Jumps off the track. Let's see if he pulls it back together. Oh, Balzer's down in 2nd. Looks like he went a little bit long on the quad, or I don't know what happened, but he's immediately off the bike. And there goes Seth Carr going by him into 2nd place. So Schwalik almost made the big one, and instead it was Balzer going down. Oh, man, Padani's really struggling, by the way. He's now down in 13th, so it's still going the way of Balzer in terms of a championship perspective, at least for tonight, although Seth Carr is trying to flip the tides here. I believe he entered third in the championship. It's now ahead of Balzer, so I don't actually know who's going to have the points lead leaving here. Will it be Carr? I guess it'd be tied, right? Carr wants a piece of this race win, man. He wants to go get Max Chwalik, and it's really not as far as it was. It's now 2.8 seconds. So Chwalik made a mistake, and here we go into the whoops again. Chwalik hopping, gets through them clean. Seth Carr, he's bouncing around a little bit, but he's okay. Balzer gets through him well that time. We got 5 seconds separating the top three and almost nothing separating second and third right now. 1 minute left on the clock. Gonna be really close, actually, on whether or not they beat the timer this time, but I think they will not. But it will be close. Balzer not going for the big line this time by, so settles in with that 3-3-3 option through here. Not gaining on Chwalik at the moment. Doesn't mean it can't still turn the tides here towards the end. We got about 15 seconds left on the clock. I think Chwalik is just barely going to miss it, and that's going to actually kind of help his case a little bit. Whoa, that's deep on the tunnel. And yes, so time will expire. The white flag is about to come out, and I think Chwalik was going to miss anyway. Now the gap is going to be 3.6. White flag in the air at Daytona. Battle for second is still on. They are 2 seconds back of Chwalik in the race lead. And I think it's going to come down to who gets the whoops the best here on this final lap. Almost side by side now for Balzer. Pulling up alongside Seth Carr. Here we go. Final run in the whoops. Chwalik's got to get it right here. Hopping a little bit. Stays on 2 wheels. And Balzer got a great run that time as Carr has made a mistake and has fallen back. So now Balzer, if he gets that quad line, you never know. 1.7 is the gap. Oh, this is going to get close. I think it has to be Chwalik just taking his time in this rhythm section. You can't rush it. You can't do the Balzer line because you might crash away a win, but Balzer might crash it away anyway. Balzer is close. Here we go. Who does what? Balzer wheelies in, triples, gets it, quads, gets it, quads out into the race lead on the last lap. What does Chwalik do to respond? He got the exact line that he wanted to get, but now Chwalik has to respond. Oh, Chwalik is throwing everything at him. Look at this. Outside, gonna triple. It's not gonna be close enough, though. He's scrubbing everything. He misses the tunnel, and he gets back on alongside of him. That's gonna be penalties, but it's gonna be so tight at the flag regardless. Here we go to the line. Rasmus Balzer wins tonight in Daytona by 1/10 of a second. Coming through the LCQ to get it done. Oh my goodness. Chwalik second. Carr gets third. Partillo gets all the way back to 4th in the end. Zollers rounds out the top 5 from Vanderbeek, Gummison. Jack Mark crosses the line in 8th. Cade Matherly gets back into the main this week and picks up a P9. And Garrett Hollenbeck from his heat win ends up in 10th. Matt Cromie, 11th. Johnny Padani will see the red plates go away, which he predicted earlier today, and he's going to end up 13th as D-Mills jumps over him at the line and an instant disconnect for Padani. Very frustrating race for him. Brett Powers, 14th for him. Seth Crotty going to hold on to get inside the top 15 here tonight. Dalton Caudill, 16th, 17th for Joey Carter, 18th for Tom Quinault. Right ahead, Alex Zellner in 19th, and Cole Gress. Man, 20th place, stayed on the lead lap. That's how long this racetrack is. It's crazy. Jeremy Schiarbro, 21st, and Ethan Gerst did not finish this main event. All right, penalties are in. Balzer picks up the dub. Chwalik second, and Seth Carr is the podium here tonight. Chwalik ended up getting 3.3 seconds of cuts for that tunnel excursion, so even if he beat him to the line, he would have lost it on cuts. That would have been a heartbreaking way to lose it, but the teammates go 1-2 here tonight, and Balzer regains the red plate as well. His second win of the season. When it was almost going to be a disaster for him tonight, he pulls the win out. 2 crashes in the whoops don't matter. Gets it done in Daytona. All right, it is time for the 450 main event here tonight in Daytona. It's what you guys all came here for, isn't it? 20 minutes plus a lap on this grueling racetrack. Evan Vanderkoy, Kevin Frizaka, Nick Sellen, Colby Eaglin, Luke Sullivan, Evan Holt, Frank Jackson, Braden Tharp, Anthony Pachone, Jeremy Smith, Jacob Hubbard, Payson Johnson, Trevor Burns, Alexis Leclerc, Ethan Parks, John Heilman, Alec Horn, Tyler Lang, Braden Carter, Braden Castellaneta, Emmanuel Cepeda, and Spencer Turley make up the 22 riders going 20 minutes and a lap here tonight at Daytona. Carter a 36-point advantage, but a rough heat race. Finished up 9th in that one. Meanwhile, Alexis Leclerc picked up a dub in his. Jeremy Smith won his. Colby Eaglin just won last week in Arlington. Tyler Lang also looked pretty froggy and fresh here tonight as well. We've got 4 different winners so far through 7 rounds in the 450 championship. And we might see a 5th different one here tonight. Braden Carter, Pablo Vial, Alexis Leclerc, and Colby Eaglin all have wins. Who is going to be the next one to break through? And will they be on the gate at Daytona is the question. All right, it is time to pick the Design Lab Co. whole shot pick here tonight. It's pretty obvious. I'm the only person that even gets to pick in the booth tonight, so of course I'm going to pick Jacob Hubbard because he doesn't steer us wrong on the starts. Now, lap 6, that's a different story, but I have faith he'll get to the line first. Jaden in chat thinks it's going to be Seabolt. Seabolt is not here tonight, unfortunately. I wish he was. Hey, Isan, thank you for the Prime sub. Really appreciate the support. It's so gnarly getting all the way to that second table. It was going with Castellaneta for the whole shot. D Nizzy thinks Hubbard won't last to lap 6. And Reedbud thinks it's going to be Spencer Turley. Well, let's find out, folks. It's round 8 of MotoOption Supercross. It's live here on Start Your Systems TV. And it is time to go racing at the World Center of Racing. Waiting for everybody to load in. There we go. Braden Carter with that outside gate pick is going to have a long ways to go to get there. Who's going to get the Design Lab whole shot? Who is going to win round 8 of the series? Let's go in Daytona! Hubbard's got a nose in there. Leclerc might push him out. Let's see who gets to the line first. It's going to be the 7 of Alexis Leclerc, the Design Lab whole shot winner. And he's got Hubbard. Jeremy Smith is up there. Castellaneta, Carter with a good jump. He's already in 4th as Leclerc leads the field to the far end of the circuit. So it's Leclerc, Hubbard, Castellaneta, Carter. Leclerc almost goes down with the lead. He's going to miss the inside rut, and Hubbard takes over the point. Ethan Parks, Colby Eaglin, Frank Jackson, Jeremy Smith. That's the running order behind our Phil Ski and Snowboard group at the front. But Hubbard is going to bring us down to lead the first lap of the race. So it's Hubbard, Leclerc, Castellaneta, Eaglin, Carter, Pachone, Smith, Berzaka, Lang, Cepeda, Sullivan, Holt, Parks, Johnson, Horn, Turley, Heilman, Jackson, Tharp, Sellen, Vanderkoy, and Burns. The 500 machine is dead last. As we cross the line on lap number 1. Hubbard jumping the whoops on the first lap of the race. Maybe saw what was going on in that 250 race and said, no thank you, good sir. Lost Alexis Leclerc as he slips back to 5th, and Eagland and Carter are having a duel right now for the 3 spot. Carter down the inside, trying to get to the inside rut, pushes Eagland out. And then it works out evenly regardless of which. Eagland playing real nice with him. Lets him have a real big space in that berm. And now they're going to be alongside each other going into this rhythm. Opposite lines, and the champ is down. So who goes by? There goes Leclerc, there goes Smith, there goes... who else? T-Lang went by, Pachone, Holtze, Payson Johnson, Kevin Berzaka. Carter picks it up in about 13th spot. Johnson just went down in that rhythm section. And Carter's now 13th behind Ethan Parks. We also got Pachone down in the berm right there, and Carter's going to move to 11th because of that. But does that set the tone for the rest of this main event? Hubbard still leads the race at the end of lap number 2. And we got a lot of racing left to go, folks. So I'm keen to see Hubbard jump the whoops on the first full lap of the race, the second lap officially. So what is he doing here? Yeah, look at that. Cutting low, wheelies in. I think quads in, and then quads again, doubles out. Castellaneta gains a ton of time on him by blitzing the whoops, but maybe that's Hubbard's strategy. Safer lines. Remember racing EU at Detroit a couple weeks ago, and I don't remember if Hubbard was there or not, but I remember Hubbard's buddy Max Volan telling me I'm an idiot if I jump the whoops, and look at that. Hubbard's jumping the whoops, and he's leading a main event. So I am not an idiot. Jumping the whoops works. Either of these guys going for the big lines. Well, they both do the quad after that. Tell you what, Braden Castellaneta looks fired up at Daytona as well. And it's really these two with a big gap back to Jeremy Smith, who is now in 3rd. Then Holt, Carter, Turley. And Turley up in 4th early on. So what is going to happen with the teammates in their battle for the race lead here? This might be the change right here if Hubbard continues to jump. And yeah, look at that. Hubbard still going to jump in. I mean, honestly, pretty solid for what it is. And Castellaneta gained a little bit of time blitzing all the way through, but not much. These guys 9 seconds now, 10 seconds actually ahead of Jeremy Smith. Castellaneta ran the fastest lap of the race at a 1:29.9. And it is tight for the race lead. Spencer Turley in a death battle with Braden Carter and Alexis Leclerc. I see it in the background there. Ooh, Hubbard, little sideways. Oh, down goes the race leader, Jacob Hubbard. Hit a trampoline and went right over the bars from the race lead. Will hold on to the position. Jeremy Smith did not get close enough to pass him. But that hands it over to Castellaneta. Could Braden Castellaneta break through for his first career main event win here tonight at Daytona? One of those guys you just always see in the mix. Obviously has a low national number with 22. And is it time for finally that big breakthrough ride that we expect to see out of Castellaneta here tonight? So there's Hubbard, there's Smith, there's Carter, and there is Verzaka, who's having another terrific main event here to start off things in Daytona. Get a kind of perspective of the gaps up ahead. You can see all the way to second. There's Hubbard going into the whoops jumping. JS4 on the Suzuki in third, and then Carter in the whoops just ahead. Oh, Carter is down at the end of the whoops off the left side. Verzaka goes by. He's side by side with Leclerc. Leclerc forces the issue and goes over the berm and down. And Colby Eaglin is going to split through all these guys to get up into fifth. Good perspective as we were up close and personal with those guys. So now Eaglin into fifth, Carter sixth, Holt is seventh, Turley eighth, Sellon ninth, and Leclerc slipped all the way back to 12th with that. Oh, wait, that's why Leclerc's slipping back. He got up right behind that group, but missed timing gates. Missed a lot of timing gates, so he just picks it up now 15th. I don't know where he rejoined the track, but wow, how did he miss so many gates there? So Leclerc goes from battling for 4th to 15th in one foul swoop. And this is going to be a real tough lap for him to watch. Oh, that quad. Oh, just barely got it. Inside there on Alec Horn. Makes a nice pass. All right, let's get back to our leaders. Braden Castellaneta, 11 seconds up on Hubbard. Jeremy Smith is closing on Hubbard, and Castellaneta is smooth with it through the whoops. So here's our battle for second place starting to brew. Hubbard is bouncing through the moguls there, and let's see, still wheelies in and jumps into the whoops. Bounce, 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 and out. Really solid and consistent. Definitely got to give him credit for the creativity. But Jeremy Smith has been inching up slowly but surely, gained a second on him last time by. And coming up on 8 minutes into this race, Castellaneta boasts a 11-second advantage in this main event. Trevor Burns in 22nd place just ran the fastest lap of the race, a 1:29.351. Pretty funny how that works out. So Verzaka with the Carter mistake moved up into 4th, and he is not too far behind this group right here. There he is on the 229. Verzaka really has been a revelation the last couple weeks. Borderline battled for the win in Arlington before a late crash really hampered him. Now trying to knock on the door of a podium position here at Daytona. And JS4 just made a mistake, so here comes Verzaka. And he lands on Smith, and they both go down. Smith cased the finish line jump. How unlucky is that? Really, for both of them. Smith got the turn before wrong, I think, and just didn't get enough drive over the finish line. And Verzaka had nowhere to go, lands on him. Here is your battle for third. Now Eaglin and Carter. These guys are 20 seconds back at Castellaneta in the lead as we approach the halfway mark of this main event. New fastest lap of the race, P12. Payson Johnson lays in a 1:27.5. So the raw speed out of Johnson is still fully there. No question about that. Guy's going 2.44 and then up and over that tunnel is such a sick line. Leclerc's still 15th for anyone keeping an eye on him. Johnson's crawled all the way into 9th as well, so he is actually kind of on the move. He's really only about 12, 13 seconds behind what we're watching right now. And if he continues to run ridiculous lap times, you never know what could happen. Oh, Carter making a couple too many mistakes right there. So halfway through this race, and Braden Castellaneta continues to lead, 13.4 seconds ahead of his teammate Jacob Hubbard. Still running mid 130s as his consistent lap times, and just cruising, man. This is impressive. I believe he still has 0 450 Supercross wins, and I apologize if I'm wrong, but even if he has 1 or 2 of them, this is like a veteran type of ride to get this lead and be this consistent. It's not doing anything too crazy. He's just hitting his marks. Now almost boasting a 15-second advantage with 9 minutes and a lap left to go. It's like Eaglin's starting to creep up to Hubbard here. Ran a 128.9 last time by. So the battle for second could be brewing here shortly. Behind that comes Frank Jackson on the 28 ride, and then Carter's not too far behind him, so Carter's slipped back to 5th now, just ahead of Jeremy Smith coming over the tunnel. Behind that, there is Smith in 6th. Nick Sellen just behind that in 7th. Keeping it close. Kevin Frazaka, after his crash, now dropped to 8th. And then Emmanuel Cepeda finds his way into 9th. There's Payson Johnson in 10th. And Alexis Leclerc in 11th. So Leclerc still trying to fight his way forward. And is going to really kick himself over missing those timing gates because he was in a great position. Oh, Carter went down again. And Carter is now back to 8th. And now it's 7th. As timing and scoring resets a little bit. It's like Nick Sellen just went down at the end of the whoops. Wow, Carter just rips by Kevin Frazaka. Small mistake from Frazaka, but Carter poured it on through there. And just trying to keep tabs on everything. Not really a battle anywhere going on. I think Carter just got Frazaka, I should say, but Johnson just got Emmanuel Cepeda, so he is up into 8th now. Who's down right here? Who is down? That is Carter again. And now that puts Carter back to 9th. There goes Sellen. That puts him 10th. Man, wouldn't this be pretty gnarly if Carter has back-to-back rounds, finishing outside of the top 5, no less, after winning 3 races to start the season, basically. Now side by side with Sellen, and is going to make that pass. Meanwhile, Eaglin just got Hubbard. He's into 2nd. They are 23 seconds behind Braden Castellaneta in the race lead. But things coming unglued a little bit here for Braden Carter. And he's got to be careful because the next mistake gives points to Leclerc, who is 2nd in the championship. I mean, obviously, championship-wise, it's massive for any of these guys to gain points on Carter. 36 points ahead of Leclerc, 46 points ahead of Eagland. But right now, Eagland is 2nd and Carter is 9th. About to be 8th, perhaps, because he just got Frazaka, who is down in the whoops. Oh, who's just rejoined? That is Johnson. Payson Johnson and Carter now battling it out. And this is bringing back some old memories of some races we've seen of yesteryear. As Johnson and Cepeda battling it out here. Hubbard just got back around Eagland. We'll go check on that battle in a second. As Johnson goes for the quad. Quad landing on Cepeda. Cepeda somehow stays up, but Johnson goes down. And Carter just got passed by Frazaka again. Nick Sellen scoots by them both. So Carter now 9th. All right, let's go find that battle for second. There is Hubbard. Eagland right on him. And Frank Jackson right on them. So Jackson has clawed all the way up here. Hubbard just ran a 28.9. That's his personal best lap of the race, and not that far off of the top time overall. Look at Frank Jackson, though, man, putting the pressure on Colby Eaglin in a battle for third spot. Hubbard's still jumping the whoops. These guys are going to close right up behind him again as Hubbard makes a mistake, and they're both going to scoot right by into second and third place. But the battle continues. Frank Jackson is absolutely flying right now, right onto the rear tire of Colby Eagland. Almost had to check up not to hit him right there. I think he wanted a triple right there, but didn't. And now Eagland goes over the bars and down. Is Hubbard going to get right back by Jackson? No, he does not get up onto the plateau. So now Jackson moves into second place. By the way, these guys are still 22 seconds behind this man, Braden Castellaneta. And we're coming down to the final 4 minutes and a lap left of this race. Someone in chat let me know, has Castellaneta won a 450 main event? As I want to give this guy his due if he has not. I don't think he has. I'm trying to dig through my brain a little bit. Yeah, I didn't think so. Know he's been up front a few times. How about this, though, man? He is just putting all the puzzle pieces together. He's now deep in some lap traffic as he just lapped Trevor Burns and Alec Horn, but good grief, man. It's like Kevin Verzaka might be out of the race, as timing isn't updating, I don't think. So Verzaka, from a great position early on, is now out of this one. And Castellaneta still nailing all the marks, getting over that little tunnel jump right there, no problem. This is special right here, folks. This is going to be a big win. First time in his career, and he's raced for quite a while, too. So, been around the block and seen a lot of wins happen in front of him over the years, but never quite broke through for his own. And we're coming down to 2.5 minutes on the clock, plus a lap, and still a 22-second advantage. 29.5 last time by. I mean, those guys are flying. 29.8 for Jackson. Behind him, a 29 flat for Braden Tharp. Braden Carter, by the way, is all the way back to 10th now. Leclerc is still 13th, and Eaglin is only 4th. So it's not like Carter's losing a ton of points in a championship picture. As we continue to watch Castellaneta just working his way around here. Let's go back and find these guys. So there's Jackson second, Hubbard now third, Eagland in fourth, and then Jeremy Smith rounding out the top five. Emmanuel Cepeda is up to sixth, just ahead of Payson Johnson, 7th. Braden Tharp here in 8th. John Heilman is now 9th, and there is Carter in 10th. He's just ahead of Nick Sellen, who you saw at the back of the screen right there. And Leclerc is another 10-ish seconds behind that. So Leclerc still needs help, even if he wants to gain points on Carter tonight. Johnson and Cepeda exchanging positions. Cepeda just went down at the end of this section. Going to get going just in front of Heilman. Oh, Heilman getting sideways, and a nice save, but loses a spot to Carter in the process. So we don't have much left to figure out other than can these guys bring it all the way to the flag. There's not really any close battles going on. Championship-wise, not much happening either. But historic first wins are on the cards here tonight. As Castellaneta hops his way into the corner right there. I mean, look, even if Castellaneta somehow warms up his arm and tosses this thing away brilliantly, you still have a breakthrough win potentially on the cards for Hubbard, who's second, or another first career win behind that in Frank Jackson. This is a very mixed bag of results here tonight at Daytona. Kind of what we expected for this round. It's just always unique, always a little bit off the cuff in that regard. And look at that, Castellaneta, he is starting to play it smart, man. Checking up, just tripling his way through here. Doesn't want to do anything stupid because guess what? Time is about to expire, and the white flag is going to come out this time by. That white flag is going to be two things for Castellaneta. It's going to be a relief, and it's also going to be nerve-wracking. Because for the last 15 minutes, tunnel vision, putting in the race of your life and hitting all your marks, and suddenly reality is setting in because there's one lap to go to his first career 450 Supercross win in MX Simulator professional competition, and it awaits Braden Castellaneta in about a minute and a half. 27-second lead on Hubbard still. Gets through the whoops clean on the final lap. That's huge. I mean, it is inevitable at this point. Doesn't even matter if he gets the last couple rhythms clean or not. He's got such a massive advantage. He's ridden arguably the perfect race here tonight. Hasn't put a foot wrong. Done everything you want to do in a main event. And then some. Might be the biggest winning margin of the season. And it's going to be on a first-time winner as well. Yeah, look at that. Still just triple through here. Not taking the risks. Just do what you can. Putting, who's that? Tyler Lang a lap down right there, I believe. Maybe Evan Holt. Oh, there's Holtzy. Gonna go a lap down. Yeah, Holtzy goes a lap down. Oh, man. How about this one, folks? Round of applause all around. This is going to be a feel-good first career win. The Daytona Supercross this year is going to go to Braden Castellaneta when he picks it up because he's over the bars. Finally, it falls apart on the last lap. Doesn't matter. He's going to circle it around, and he's going to give us a big one. Braden Castellaneta, you are a MotoOption Supercross winner. You love to see it. A first-time winner, the 5th different winner on the season. And his teammate Jacob Hubbard follows him home with a second place here tonight. Frank Jackson rounds out the podium. Eaglin picks up 4th. And it looks like JS4 is going to hold on for a top 5. After a heat race win tonight, old JS4 is back. And Jeremy Smith ends up in P5. Carter crawls back to 6, only loses 2 points on Eagland when all is said and done, and gains points on Leclerc. So one of his worst races of the year and still gains points in the championship. That's where we're at this point in the season. John Heilman 7th. Brendan Tharp and Luke Sullivan are down, battling for 8th. Sullivan picks it up first and looks like he will get to the line first, barring a gnarly last turn pass by Tharp, but it's not going to happen. Sullivan picks up 8th, Tharp 9th, and Cepeda will round out the top 10. No, he's down, and Leclerc is going to get gifted a position here because of it. So Leclerc 10th, Turley 11th, Cepeda just missed the top 10 as he crosses the line 12th. Evan Holt did get his lap back in 13th. A lot of guys got their laps back apparently. Pachon is going to cross in 14th, Nick Stellan in 15th, T-Lang in 16th, and Johnson DNF'd in 17th. Cuts are in. And everything up ahead of that stayed the same. But a first-time winner and our 5th different winner of the year, Braden Castellaneta, wins the Daytona Supercross in MX Simulator. And the party's just starting at the Phil Ski and Snowboard Camp. Well done, son, and congratulations on his first career win. Wow, what a night, what a day. Daytona always gives us the goods, and that was a lot of fun. Great racing all around. I feel like the heat races were action-packed. The LCQs were also fun, and in the end, the main events got us all the way to a first-time 450 main event winner. Gotta love it, man. Doesn't get much better than that. Appreciate you guys all tuning in and watching the 8th round of MotoOption Supercross live here on Star Your Systems TV. Shout out to the Race Factor Gaming crew and the track crew as well for putting together a great race and a great race track for us to call the action on here. And thanks to the Design Lab Co. for our Whole Shot Award every single week. Big shout out to them as well. Fun times at Daytona. And we're only just getting started because we got the second half of the season coming up. The midpoint of 2024 is next week at the Alabama. That's the Birmingham Supercross. And we will be live here at the same time, same place next Wednesday at 6:15 p.m. Pacific. So don't miss it, folks. Tune in and join us for the Alabama round of the series. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show here tonight. Congratulations to Braden Castellaneta and Rasmus Balzer on the dubs here at Daytona. And we'll see you guys next week in Alabama. So long for now.